Liverpool fans, back again with another video to talk about of course, we're playing Bournemouth today, 5:30 p.m. kickoff. It is Saturday, of course, Saturday the 14th of April, and yeah, we go into the Bournemouth game on very high confidence, after after eliminating, the runaway Premier League leaders, Manchester City, from the Champions League, quarter-finals. And when nobody really gave Liverpool a chance to go through, that most of the media and the newspapers and everything, the television programs and analysis and this and that, former footballers, managers, everyone was bigging up Manchester City before the tie actually, got into action. And yeah, they saw why Liverpool are so respected in Europe, and they've seen it again now, for the umpteenth time. We've won this trophy 5 times, the European Cup, and we've been to semi-finals, we've been to quarter-finals, and still, despite them knowing all these facts, despite them knowing that Liverpool are a big team in Europe, they still think that we were going to get rolled over by Manchester City, and it just doesn't work like that. It's not about the money. It's about your heritage, your past successes in Europe. That's the most important thing when you play in Europe. It's not all about money and the players that you have, the names that you have in your team. And unfortunately, the media fell into that trap again of thinking that because Manchester City has spent so many millions on so many players, they thought that they were going to walk all over Liverpool and just destroy Liverpool. But it turned out to be the complete opposite. Liverpool destroyed them in both the games, 3-0 at Anfield, and of course we sat back in the second half. We didn't really need to get any more goals, and it proved vital in the second leg. When we played at the Etihad, we had a bit of a sticky patch at the beginning of the second leg. Of course, the first half, the first 15-20 minutes where we were under the cosh, majorly, because in these kind of games you mustn't concede an early goal in the second leg. And that's exactly what Liverpool did. We should have been more, awake. We should have been more concentrated at the beginning of the game. And we ended up conceding after about 2 minutes, 1 minute and 54 seconds or something like that, which was absolutely madness, because we knew that Manchester City were going to attack us from the first whistle. And yet we seemed to just go into the match with the belief that we were going to get through. It doesn't happen like that. You have to be concentrated for both the matches. Even if you win the first match, comprehensively with a big score, you still have to be on your game, especially against teams like Man City, big teams who are going to go on and win the Premier League title, the Championship in England. So yeah, we conceded after 2 minutes or so through Gabriel Jesus, and I was fearing the worst. I mean, I have to be honest, I was fearing the worst because as soon as City got that goal, I looked at some of our players, and it seemed to me that some of their heads just went. They seemed to just lose confidence, and I was fearing that we're going to have another collapse. As we have had in previous seasons, in whether it be in Europe or in some league matches, in cup matches, and yeah, it was looking very precarious at the beginning, but. We held out, we held out until half time. We got some lucky breaks, off the post, and they had a goal disallowed virtually on the stroke of half time for an offside. An offside was called on Leroy Sané, who was, just in front of our goal, and the ball actually bounced off Milner and it came in front of Sané, and I think he got, the faintest of touches. So we're very fortunate. I mean, another referee could have given that goal. And if we go in 2-0 at half time, then it's a completely different game in the second half. And we would have been in panic mode, basically, at the Etihad. And City would have been, on a high and going out to win the game. But, yeah, we did very well to contain them, And then, of course, we got the breakaway goal through Salah. An outstanding run into City's defence by Mane. Just virtually penetrated through their defence, through 2 or 3 players. Drove right into the middle of them, got into the area, face to face with Ederson, and Ederson, in trying to get the ball, I think he took Mane out a bit. He took him down, but thankfully Salah was there to wrap it up, and he dinked the ball over Otamendi, and it's 1-1. And it's it's delirium, you know. I mean, the Liverpool fans are going mad, ecstatic. I was going mad here at home, you know, watching it on the internet, and that just relieved me, you know. As soon as that goal went in, I was thinking, brilliant, brilliant. We've done the job now. We've done the job. We just need to, you know, hold out for the rest of the game. And you know, about 10 minutes later, 10, 15 minutes later, Firmino, I think, is trying to close Otamendi down, and he nicks the ball off him, and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Basically, it's a bit of a acute angle. He's on the left side of the penalty area, and he's, you know, charging into the penalty area, and he just curls it around Ederson, and it hits the post, and it goes in for 2-1. And the songs are just coming out now. You know, the Ale Ale Ale. You know, we've conquered all of Europe. We're never going to stop. And that was the case, you know. And Liverpool proved their worth again to the rest of Europe. We proved our power, our how we up our game in the European Cup, the Champions League, and we've done it again. We're into the semi-finals now, so we're only one step away from the final, basically. And to make everything even better, you know, the draw, which was yesterday on a Friday, I was fearing the worst again. I was thinking we're going to get either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, because you cannot keep going through the Champions League and not have to play one of the better teams. You know, Manchester City were a massive team that we played, and we beat them comprehensively over the two legs. But when you get into the semis, of course you're going to get, you know, the big players, the massive players. And thankfully, out of Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Roma, we ended up getting Roma, which is another dream, you know, draw for Liverpool. Despite the fact that they've knocked Barcelona out in an outstanding comeback. You know, they were 4-1 down from the first leg, could easily have been 6 or 7, and they got them back to Italy, and they managed to do a job on Barcelona, which not many teams, I don't think, were capable of doing. You know, not this season or not any other season, and it's an outstanding result for Roma. It really is, to come back from 4-1 down to knock the mighty Barcelona out of the Champions League. And Coutinho, yeah, he left Liverpool to win trophies, didn't he? He left Liverpool to win trophies, and now he's not going to win the Champions League. He's out of it. So, well, he can have the Spanish title, because they win it every other year anyway. It's either them or it's Real Madrid. So I don't think he went there to win the Spanish league. You know, I think he's more interested in winning European trophies. And to see them get knocked out, and Coutinho didn't even take part. So it's just madness. I don't understand why he wanted to leave Liverpool in such a rush to go and play for a team that he wasn't. No, he can't play for Barcelona, can he, in the Champions League? I don't think, because he was cup tied with Liverpool. Yeah, so he didn't actually take part. He didn't actually affect any games in the Champions League, and it's really disappointing for him, for his point of view, to leave Liverpool and then to not take part and to be knocked out of the tournament. And to see Liverpool in the semi-finals now, he must be thinking he's made the wrong choice, you know, this season, when he could have waited until the summer and just signed then, you know, prior to the World Cup, because he was going to go to Barcelona anyway. There's no other team coming in for him, and he wanted to rush. So, good luck to him anyway. We don't care about Coutinho anymore. We're into the semi-finals, and we play Roma, you know, that's it. And to make it even better, you know, we've got the easiest draw really, because thinking of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich at this stage was going to be very tough for Liverpool. You know, we've virtually wrapped up the top 4 in the league, so we're not worried about the league position. But and Chelsea are actually losing at the moment to Southampton. Dusan Tadic with the goal. So if Chelsea lose that game today and we play later on, 5:30 p.m. kickoff against Bournemouth at Anfield, we'll be going into the game relatively, how do you say, relaxed, because we don't have to do anything anymore in the league. We can get, you know, another 3 points, another 6 points, whatever it is, the home games against Bournemouth, Stoke City, and Brighton, and then we've only got 2 away games against Chelsea and against West Bromwich Albion. But they won't mean anything because we've virtually wrapped it up now. Chelsea losing today is the perfect scenario for Liverpool. And we can now, you know, go into the semi-finals against Roma and rest a couple of players, because we don't want to pick up any more injuries. That is the main objective. We don't want to get any more injuries going into the semi-finals against Roma. Please, for the love of God, we need to have some luck now, on our sides, and just stay fresh for those games. And if we get through the semi-final, we're in the final in Kiev. Brilliant. And then I take whoever we get, whether it be Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. They're both massive teams. They're both powerful teams, so it doesn't matter. We'll have to beat them, as we did Milan. As we did to AC Milan from 3-0 down in Istanbul, and we came back to win the game 3-3, and of course we won it on penalties. So everything is possible in the final of a Champions League. And the way we're playing, I'm not frightened of any team in the final. So, yeah, we just have to get today's game out of the way, and then we've got another week to recover for the West Bromwich Albion game, which is, it's not really an important game because they're virtually down. They're relegated now, and we have nothing to play for in the top four. We can get into the top three, of course, the top two if Manchester United lose a few points, but it doesn't really matter because the top four teams will qualify automatically for the Champions League. So whether you finish third, fourth, third, or second, it doesn't really matter at all. We could actually win the Champions League this season. We're so close to it now. So I would put all my emphasis on that now. If I'm Klopp, I'm thinking I can win this cup, this trophy, and bring it back to Liverpool. And imagine what the scenes will be like. Imagine what the celebrations will be like. Imagine the confidence that team will gain from winning the European Cup, and then going into next season, looking to win the Premier League title in Klopp's third season in charge. It'll be outstanding, unbelievable. I mean, the success that we could have now, the next couple of years, is just unprecedented, really. If we're clever and we make a few more transfers that we need in our first 11, for the midfield alongside Keita, who's coming in July, and another midfielder, attacking midfielder, and then if we can get another centre back and probably a goalkeeper to replace Mignolet and Karius. Now, don't get me wrong. Karius has done a very good job recently in goal for Liverpool, but I don't think he is the long-term answer to Liverpool's goalkeeping problems. I always feel that there's a mistake in him, or a mistake in... Oh, of course there's a mistake in Mignolet. I mean, Mignolet's been here since the 13-14 season, and we've seen what he's done, so he can have a good patch of games, 5 or 10 games, and then all of a sudden he drops a ball, or he comes out to claim a cross and he doesn't get there and we can see the goal. And then you start from the beginning again. The morale, the confidence just goes down. It just goes down the drain, and it affects the whole team because you put in all that effort. You put in all that hard work, attacking play, score goals, and then to concede stupid goals at the back, of course that will dent any team. No matter how good you are, it dents your confidence. And we can't afford to do that from now on, Liverpool. We need to have a solid base, a solid defensive unit, and a goalkeeper that is capable to take us on to the next level, is able to win us games, like the David De Gea's, like Hugo Lloris, or the Tottenham goal, what do you call it? Not the Tottenham, the Man City goalkeeper, Ederson. Apart from the Liverpool games, of course, that is, where he's conceded 7 goals, in the 2 legs he's conceded 5. And of course, in the league game against Liverpool, he conceded another 4. So that's 9 goals. 9 goals in 3 games he's conceded against Liverpool this season. But apart from that, as I say, he's a very good goalkeeper. A very relaxed goalkeeper, Ederson. And we need a goalkeeper like him. Karius is a good goalkeeper. I have no doubt. I mean, he's still young, 24 years of age. But from what I've seen in the mistakes that he made last season in critical games, where we were going for the title, and of course this season even in some games where we're actually dominating the games, and he still didn't look confident. So I don't understand what is the matter with him. I mean, there's some kind of confidence issue. There's some kind of he's not up to that standard yet. He's not up to that level where you can fully rely on him, fully trust him in goal. So yeah, apart from that, if we can do that in the summer, get those players in, the 3 or 4 players that I'm talking about in the certain positions in the first 11, then we're definitely one of the favourites for the Premier League title next year. We say this every year, but this next year definitely we will be, because you can just see it happening. you can see the improvement this season in the league and in the European Cup. So if we can carry that on into next season, then who knows what is achievable? You know, we can do many things. We can win many trophies next year. We can win, you know, even 2 or 3 trophies. So we can do what Man City are doing this year, basically. Apart from the Champions League where they got knocked out by us, you know, we can replicate what they've done this year, basically. And we've got a massive chance now to go on and win the Champions League in Kiev. So that's it, Liverpool fans. I mean, the Bournemouth game today, there's not really much to speak about. I mean, you know the lineup. You can probably guess the lineup, predict the lineup, and if Klopp decides to make a couple of changes, I don't begrudge him that, because you know we don't want to pick up any injuries. And if Chelsea lose now, they're playing Southampton. If they lose that game, then he's got every right to make changes, because you know we've got the Roma games coming up thick and fast. You know, I think the first one is on the 24th, which is on a Tuesday, and then the second leg is either on the 1st or the 2nd of May, which is on a Tuesday or Wednesday again the following week. So we don't have much time. I mean, it's the 14th of April today, so we've got roughly, you know, a week and a half to play those games. You know, we have to be very careful, and we have to protect our players, our main players. We don't want them to overwork themselves, you know, and we don't want to. We have to pray to God that nothing happens in the games. No dodgy decisions, or no, you know, unlucky situations, injury-wise. You know, hopefully nothing happens, and we carry on unscathed, going into the semi-finals against Roma, of course. So it's looking very good, Liverpool fans. I just wanted to make this quick video for the Bournemouth game. I think we beat Bournemouth this year 4-0 at the Vitality Stadium, and we got our revenge for last season. That terrible, you know, comeback where they came back from 3-1 down to beat us 4-3. We got our revenge for that on that day. So I think we've buried the ghost of that Bournemouth game, the nightmare that we had last season, and I think we'll beat them again today. They don't have anything left to play for as well, Bournemouth. But of course, we shouldn't take them lightly. But, you know, we have to win this game at home. It's at Anfield, and we're unbeaten at Anfield. So we don't fear anyone, you know. We don't fear anyone. We just go out there, play our normal game, and win the game. I don't care if we win 1-0, 2-1, or 3-2, you know. Just win the game. Take the 3 points. And that's top 4 finished. Top 4 is wrapped up. And then we've got the 4 games left in the league, and of course the 2 Champions League games, the semi-finals, and maybe an added bonus of a final, a Champions League final. And my words, if we can win the Champions League, brilliant. I mean, the fans will just go mental, the Liverpool fans. It will just be an outstanding season. I think Klopp will be knighted. He'll be revered as an outstanding coach, an outstanding manager. You know, one that's taken Liverpool back to the pinnacle of European football. And all in all, that's about it, Liverpool fans. I just wanted to make this quick video to talk about the what happened last week, and us going through to the semi-finals, of course, of the Champions League. I don't think there's any transfer rumours at the moment, so I will make more videos in the coming weeks to talk about the transfer situation for the summer and what we need to do. The action that we need to take before the World Cup starts, I feel, because as soon as the World Cup starts and the players go to their national teams and then they start to play in the World Cup, the prices of the players will go up double or probably triple, so we need to make sure that we tie down a couple of players before the World Cup starts. So we'll have roughly about a month or 3 weeks before the World Cup tournament starts in Russia. So we need to do our business early this year. Do not leave it until August. Make sure that we buy our players early, get them into the squads as soon as the World Cup finishes, get the pre-season over and done with, and then we smash into next season. Basically, we roll into next season and do our best, and try and win all the games at the beginning. If we can win, 4 or 5 games on the bounce, and that will send a warning sign to Manchester City and the others that we mean business, that we want to win this league title this next season. And if we can do that, then it's looking very good for Liverpool. Looking very good, The squad is getting there. The The manager is used to the team now, Klopp. He knows how to get the best out of them. And he's virtually gotten rid of all the dead woods that he had at the beginning of his reign as manager of Liverpool. When he first came into the club, he had to get rid of a lot of players, and he had to give them time to see which ones he wanted to keep and which ones he thought were not good enough, for the squad. So he's virtually done that now, yeah. And if he can bring in a few more young players next season from the under-23s, the likes of Harry Wilson or Ryan Brewster and a few others that don't come to mind at the moment. But yeah, if he can bring them through to the first team, the squad, and who knows what they can achieve, a very bright future for them, a very bright future for Liverpool Football Club going into the next 2 or 3 seasons. And we need to make sure that we hold on to Salah. That is the main objective now. No matter what the cost, we have to make sure that we keep Salah. Mohamed Salah has been outstanding this season. 39 goals in all competitions. We cannot be that stupid. We cannot be that ignorant that we will sell him for money. We can't do it, man. FSG cannot do this to Liverpool Football Club again. They have to keep this man at Liverpool, because with Salah in the team, we are capable of winning everything. Next season we can win the league. We can do even better in the cup competitions. And of course go for the Champions League again, So we need to make sure that we keep our best players and then add on a couple of players, a few more players, and then we're right up there as one of the best in England. So that's about it, Liverpool fans. As I said before, I will be making more videos on the upcoming summer transfer targets and who we should be buying. Money wise, of course, it's going to be a bit difficult, but FSG have the money. They cannot come out and tell us that they don't have money. They need to cut this bullshit out. Excuse my language. They really do, because they cannot sit here after 7 years running Liverpool Football Club and still tell us that they don't have money to invest in players when they've gone out and acquired Virgil van Dijk for £75 million. And that's about a bit more than half of the money that they got from Coutinho's sale. So they still have money, and there's other money coming in from TV deals, from sponsorship deals, and everything. So we need to make a statement this summer. We need to buy a couple of more players that will make everyone sit up and notice Liverpool, And of course, next season we're looking forward to winning the Premier League title, the Championship, because it's been too long, man. 27 years is too long for Liverpool Football Club. It's too long for any club, but for a club like Liverpool that was so used to winning the league championship, year on year, in the 80s and even in the at the beginning of the 90s, the 70s and the 80s especially, we need to be challenging for that title every year, And whether we win it or not, that's another story. But we need to be challenging. We need to be in that top 2 or 3 teams in the league consistently now, every season, because we're good enough. We just had defensive problems at the beginning of the season, but we seem to have sorted that out now. With the arrival of Virgil van Dijk and Karius' improved form in goal recently, the last 6 or 7 games, we've really looked very tight at the back. We're looking very solid. And, hopefully it carries on until the end of the season and we get a European Cup out of it, We end up winning the European Cup in Kiev. We wait and see. Anyway, Liverpool fans, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, which is Ahmet Gosa. Just type in my name, Ahmet Gosa, and it will bring you to my channel. I've got various other videos on there, from games that we've played throughout the season, and my analysis and my previews, my reviews. I talk about, the owners, FSG, in a few videos. Various other videos, So if you go onto the channel, you will be able to watch all the videos, and please like and subscribe to those as well. And make your comments in the comment section below. And it will be very much appreciated, as a fellow Liverpool fan, It will make me very happy, to see other people watching and recognising my work on the internet. And the effort I put in to talk to Liverpool fans. And the time that I give to talk to Liverpool fans. We're all in the same boat. We're all after one thing: for Liverpool to be successful. And this is why we rant sometimes. This is why we go over the top. But even if we do rant, it's for the best of the club. You know, we want Liverpool to do the best that they can do. We don't want to be languishing behind the likes of Manchester City or Man United or Chelsea. You know, Chelsea have gone down this season, but of course next season Abramovich is definitely going to bring in a good manager, and he's probably going to buy a few more players. So they're not going to stay like this, Chelsea. We need to keep up with these teams, and we need to buy the players that we need, and keep improving, keep progressing, and becoming better every season. So anyway, Liverpool fans, nice to talk to you again, and hopefully we get another 3 points today against Bournemouth. We should do. Even if we make changes, we should beat them at Anfield. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they're a mid-table team. They're not an outstanding team. They're a mid-table team. They concede a lot of goals. And we have the firepower. We have the quality to score against them, as we do against any other team in England or in Europe. So I'm expecting another 3 points today for the mighty Reds, and we move on. We move on to the West Brom game next weekend, and then a few days after that, we go into the massive semi-finals against Roma. And the first leg is at Anfield. We need to get a good score, a good result to take back to Italy, because it's going to be tough. The way that they knocked Barcelona out of the competition, they're going to make it very hostile for us. They're going to make it very tough for Liverpool. So we need to go there knowing that we've got a good lead, a healthy lead, to win the tie and then to get into the final. But of course, we wait and see. And yeah, it's looking very good, Liverpool fans. We're right behind Jurgen Klopp. You know, I was a bit harsh on him at the beginning of the season, or in just after Christmas, because he seemed to be making the same mistakes as he was doing last year, and it really pissed me off, you know. It really annoyed me that he didn't seem to change his ways. He didn't seem to, how do you say, become better tactically, and to pick the right players in the right games. And we were losing points again, and to still think that we've drawn 10 games, you know. Out of the 33 games we've played, we've drawn 10 games. Most of those games we should have won. We were leading those games. And because of our silly mistakes at the back, you know, the defensive mistakes, and not having a good enough midfield in some games, we dropped the points. And we could have been right up there with City, challenging them until the final 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Anyway, we leave it till next season now. We're doing very well in the European Cup. That's even better. Winning the European Cup is even bigger than the Premier League, in my opinion, because this is why we strive to do well in the league, to get into the elite of the European game, and then to win the biggest trophy in European football. So if we win the European Cup, then it's been an outstanding season for Liverpool. It really has. And even if we don't, it's still been an outstanding season. But to win it now, you know, being the underdogs against the other big teams, it will just be unbelievable, you know. It will be magical. So we wait and see what happens, Liverpool fans. Thank you very much again for watching the video. And I'll talk to you later, you know, after the Bournemouth game. We've got another week in front of us until the West Bromwich Albion game. And we'll analyse the Bournemouth game, and we'll also talk about the upcoming fixtures in the league and in the Champions League against Roma. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later on. See you later on.